Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It's a few minutes after 4 o'clock after the close on July 31st, 2013, and we're going to take a look at the chart. And before we do so, I just need to remind you that the website and the video are for educational purposes only, and nothing stated at the site or in the video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's take a look. The first thing I want to say is this is not getting any easier. This is really has essentially been, if we go back to, let's say, the 15th of July, we have been 2+ weeks of going really sideways. Because if you look at where we closed today and we snap a horizontal line, you can see that we have been on one side of this line or the other by a margin of roughly an average of about 10 points for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, almost 3 weeks. And we're not really getting any sense of which way this wants to go. And I mentioned back when we broke this rising channel, which had been working for about a month, right here, the channels break for one of two reasons. The first reason is the markets are well, let's just say the chart. The chart is going to reverse and reverse the trend. So that would mean we would expect a move down to test support levels, where there are really two that I think are pretty important at this point. One of which is right around that 1654, 1655 area. And that's only because that was our little proposed neckline in an inverted head and shoulders pattern that never completed. Here was the left shoulder, here was the head. We never got the right shoulder. If we'd gotten the right shoulder, then I would say definitely expect support at 1654, 1655. But since we didn't get the benefit of that right shoulder, it's less certain. However, we do have a little gap right here from the move that started on the 11th of July. And if we come down to this level, you may find that there is some gap support, as well as this area right here of hard resistance. Once that was broken out, that could also turn this horizontal line into support. If that were to give, then I would look for this descending orange line, but I'll be honest with you, that's pretty down there. So I think before we would reach this line, we may come back to our all-time tops line, which is currently at about 1600. So the more time we spend putting off if there's going to be a downward move, then the less this orange line actually comes into play, because I believe we would find support before we get there, because this line is sloping down. Now, if we take a look at what took place today, what a messy few days we've had this week. We knew coming into this week to expect resistance at this 1698, 1697-ish level, actually 1698, and today we got it. The market zoomed up there, then immediately got turned back to the tune of roughly 12 to 13 points in a quick swing this afternoon. So the market is really just kind of fluctuating in oscillating in fairly what's the word I'm looking for? Almost without a sense of direction. The S&P is just kind of running around in between our two lines that I think are important. 1698 is still important. If we get over this line, then I think we get up into the 1700s. But this little line that I thought might signal a willingness to get over this line, you know something, this is just all such a mess right now. That line goes away. I don't really think we can say that I don't think we can look at this anymore and say we've got a little inverted head and shoulders. We could end up with something of an inverted head and shoulders that's larger, but it would be it would share this 1698 neckline, which is our general area of resistance to start with. So what it's looking like to me going into the rest of this week, resistance at 1698, support slightly rising at this lower line, and if this gives, then I would expect that that move down of roughly 20 points minimum. If we break out over 1698, then I would expect a move up of 20 points minimum. But for right now, we are where we have been for the past almost 3 weeks, and that's in between support and resistance. I hope that helps. I wish there was a little bit something a little bit more exciting on the horizon to keep an eye on, but there's not. So we're just kind of stuck in this holding pattern as we've just kind of slid out to the right from this rising channel. So guys, let's just see what happens for the rest of the week. See how long we stay between these two the support and resistance lines. Eventually one of them's got to give. And when it does, we know to expect at least a 20-point move, and probably more, but maybe not. If it's to the downside, I would say 20 points. I think we could reverse down there at that proposed neckline. If it's to the upside, I think there's more room to run. So look, guys, thanks for watching. Take care.